Let's see. Is that working? Okay. Hello, Green Yeti. Okay, good, good. I believe I'm back online. All right. Hello, Benjamin and Elvis, and we're live. Yes, finally. Okay, sorry about that. It had a little bit of trouble getting the thing uh, live again, but we seem to be working now. Hi, Kevin. Um, okay, so here we go. We made it. That was fun, wasn't it? So the first thing I wanted to do was say thanks for 8,000 subscribers, and then I had the most haphazard live stream I've ever had. Hey Lazarus and Alexander. Um, hey Audrey, can you let the dog in, please? Okay. Hey B Bishop. Um, Yeah, actually, I was just thinking, since I just wasted about 5 or 6 minutes of you guys' time getting this set back up again, I'll go a little bit long this evening, just because I would like to have the extra time. So, um, Lazarus, you are correct. We are 1,000 away from 9,000. Um, so, um, so yeah, so Delvis is living the adventure. This is what everybody tunes in for, right? Um, so uh, so yeah, first off, I wanted to thank everyone for helping us reach 8,000, and I really appreciate that. I feel like we're doing great. The channel's just been awesome, mainly because you guys have made it awesome. You've made it a really fun experience for me. Um, hey, JJ's Toy Room, nice to see you. Ready for some GI Joe talk? Well, we have some GI Joe talk coming up. Hey, Kerouac, how you doing? Yes, Kerouac has been around since before 1,000. A lot of you guys have been around for a long time, and it's that is that makes me very happy because I feel like we've kind of gotten to know each other, so that's cool. Hey, McDowell, nice to see you. Jackie Chan. Uh, Kevin says greetings from Ireland. Greetings to Ireland from the United States. Thank you very much. But seriously, thank you. I mean, keeping in mind that this is a very niche channel. It's not just like a toy channel. It's like only focused on GI Joe, and even at that, only focused on vintage GI Joe, and that's like a niche of a niche. So even at that, we've still managed to grow pretty well, and I've gotten to know a lot of folks here, and it's been a really great experience. And we're gonna celebrate 5 years this Sunday. So it's a really great time. It's a very great time for the channel right now. I'm very happy. Mark's been there since 3,000. Yeah. So thank you, and for anyone who has found the channel recently, thanks for joining. I hope that you like it. We kind of have a community here, and so I hope you'll want to be part of it. We are, of course, always focused on GI Joe. The vintage GI Joe, the old stuff from the 80s and 90s, the stuff that we remember and love. So if you're new here, I hope that you enjoy that. And I hope you'll also consider, becoming part of the community, talk with your other Joe fans, find things in common. That's what makes the experience a lot more fun. Thank you, Jackie Chan, on the congratulations. Green Yeti has been here since July of 2018. Well, that's coming up on a year. July is coming really soon, sooner than I sooner than I like to think about. There's a lot to do between now and July, a lot to do. Um, Yeah, so okay, I have some GI Joe topics besides just thanks for 8,000 subscribers. Although the 8,000 subscribers, that for me, that's really big on a personal level. That's really big. Phoenix joined up at 55 subscribers. My goodness, you've been around for a long time. Well, thank you for sticking around. Turn up the volume. That's actually as loud as it will go. I have it cranked on my end. So, um, the other thing I wanted to talk about really quickly, yes, Green Yeti, correct. A lot to do like Joe Fest. Lots of stuff to prepare for Joe Fest. Very stressed out about it, but I'll make the best of it. Um, so, before we get too deep into it, I did want to mention this. You probably saw the video that went up yesterday. I do have a poll going. So, um, Kerouac says, "Don't you know why you aren't making out that Hepburn poster in this celebration?" Yeah, no guarantees, but we'll see. Um, so I have a poll going. So if you are on Patreon, um, you have a chance to vote. So just wanted to show the options real quick. Destro's Dominator. I've got to do a little repair job on the missile launcher if that wins, but Destro's Dominator is an option. Johan says, did I watch Form BX257's review of Darklon and the Evader? What did you think of the review? I like all of Kevin's reviews. I watch all of them, and I always think he does a great job. Option 2 is the Barracuda. It's the Blue Submarine for the Blue Beetles, but that's option 2, and the last option is the Razor Blade, this kind of odd but interesting looking helicopter. So if you haven't voted, actually a lot of people already have, but if you haven't, go vote really quick so we can decide what to review next. Delvis votes Swamp Masher. Why can't the Swamp Masher ever win? I've given it so many chances. I've given it so many chances and it never wins. So that's one of those where I'm just going to have to review it. I'm just going to have to decide to review it because apparently nobody else wants to see it. All right, so since they were handy, I just wanted to go through those with you guys and show you what the options are. I still have them sitting right there from when I shot the video, to announce the poll. I like the Razor Blade too, Jackie Chan, but it will not be up to me. It will not be up to me. Thank you, Green Yeti. Much appreciated. Okay. Now, I have some thoughts and ideas, and I need to share with you guys and see what you think. So, I need the collective wisdom of the community and the group here. And it's about something that I've been thinking about regarding Larry Hama. Larry Hama, the legendary writer of the G.I. Joe comic book, he also did a lot of other things in comics. He's been in the business for longer than I've been alive, and he has about every accomplishment that you can think of. He posted recently on Facebook that he's not in the best of health. It's kind of painful to draw and to sign things, and his eyesight is getting a little worse, and his hearing is not very good, and so he's having a tough time. And Comic Tropes is at work, and he has a question: an art stream, and would you review Street Fighter if we sent it to you? I'd have to think about it. Kerouac. Yeah, he was a little bit indignant at some of the treatment at. Well, I think the convention was in Philadelphia. Am I remembering that right? Was it Philadelphia? but yeah, he is rarely recognized for his accomplishments. And the sad thing, it's sad to say, but I think one reason why he's not as well recognized is because a lot of those accomplishments happened for GI Joe, and there is a stigma about licensed books. You know, there is a stigma about toy books. I don't think that's fair, but Comic Trope sends a super chat. Let's discuss the IDW Joe stuff by Hama sometime. We will. In fact, I'm going to be discussing that a little bit here. I'm moving in that direction. So what I was thinking was, I don't know how much longer he's going to do this. For one thing, it seems to take a toll on him to go to these conventions, to travel a lot, and to do the signings and everything. And so I don't know how much longer he's going to stick with it. And I can't say I blame him. I mean, it's not been easy, and he's had some unfortunately very negative interactions with some fans as well. So not all of the fans have treated him especially well. Johan, I agree. Even if you never read the comic book, you still had the Larry Hama influence on the file cards, on the basic character personalities, and those impacted, of course, the animated series. And there were actually action figures made based on characters that he created, like the Baroness. So Larry Hama's fingerprints are all over GI Joe, even if you never read the comic book. So what I was thinking was, I mean, I would like to do something. If we're not gonna, if he, and I'm not saying he is thinking of retiring. I'm not saying that. I don't have any special insight, but I'm just saying if he were thinking about it, I would want the last few couple years or so of his experience to be a good one, right? I would like him to finish his career knowing that he's appreciated. So I was trying to think of how to do that exactly. Um, Something more meaningful than just saying thanks. Just saying thanks for GI Joe or having him sign something. Something um, something more worthwhile than that. But everybody, hold that thought. Hold on, I gotta let the dog in. Hang on a second. Audrey, thanks a lot. Okay, sorry, I'm back now, and I'm continuing that thought. He also seems to be. Say, Kerouac segues into my next point. Um, he's also seems to be kind of a private individual. Hello, codename New2Vero2. He also seems to be kind of a private individual, and so any kind of like expressions that are too intrusive might make him uncomfortable. Um, so I was just thinking about what we might do collectively. And somebody suggested, and I'm going to pass this on to you to see what you think. Sorry, Audrey was supposed to help out, but she's gone AWOL. Anyway, so what I was thinking was another one thing that he's complained about a little bit is that there aren't a lot of readers writing into the post box, the pit, the letter page of the comic book series. I thought maybe we could do something with that. As a vintage guy, I haven't regularly read the current running series, but I went ahead and got a digital subscription to the series, so I will start following the series on a regular basis now. But my thought was, what if we, wrote into Postbox the Pit, like the old days. Uh, I mean, you can't send a letter anymore. It seems you have to send an email. But maybe we could uh, kind of write down messages of basically what he means to us, what he's contributed to us, what what kind of impact he's had on us. I can think of several ways that he's impacted my life through his work, beyond just collecting GI Joe. Um, I mean, the things that I read in his writing at a young age, kind of got me to be curious about the world, and about history, and about current events and things like that. And so I thought, like, maybe we could just say that. Maybe each of us individually could just say uh, what kind of impact this has had on us, and uh, you know what his work has meant, and let him know that his work is appreciated. But um, the fact that he is still a professional and he is still writing a comic book um, that he's wanting people to read. So to take a step forward and to do something else that he'd appreciate, I did decide to actually start reading the comic book. I've been really sticking with vintage only, but I think it's time to catch up with modern times a little bit. Um, so yeah, I will back up, writing to the comic book with actually buying and reading the comic book. So there's that. So anyway, that's my thought, and I was wanting to know if you think that's a good idea or not. I'm on the fence about it, only because I don't want to make the guy uncomfortable. I don't want him to feel like we're just overwhelming him and flooding him with just like letters to say thanks, Larry. Um, uh, what I'm envisioning and hoping for is just something deeper than that, something deeper than hey, GI Joe is great and thanks for doing it. You know what I mean? Um, so anyway, that's a thought that I had, and I'm going to chew on that thought. But if I still think it's a good idea in a day or two, um, I may go ahead and put that out there as something that we might do, that we might do together. So Lazarus, that's a good point. Is there any way to get a better feel of how he'd take it? That's a good question, and I'm not sure. Um, like, like I said, he's not. He seems like a very private individual, um, but he also seems like someone who has worked very hard in a very tough industry, but hasn't, got the greatest feedback and the greatest appreciation for it. Chad sends a super chat. You're artistic. Oh, thank you. Why not draw a picture of him in your art style surrounded by characters he created? Send it to him with your autograph. I will think about that, Chad. Um, I do actually need to do a lot more artwork. That's actually something that's on my agenda that I need to get on. But thank you, Chad. Thanks for that. Um, yeah, McDowell. Know you want to do something cool and nice, but if he's a more private person, would it be good to express it to him? We want to do something for him, and what he would be comfortable with. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. My thought, the reason I kind of settled on that idea, or I guess gravitated toward that idea, is that each person's message is their own. It's individual, and so he can he can take it or leave it. It's not all of us like running up to him at a convention and like mobbing him or something like that. So it's a thought anyway. It's a thought, the reason I put it out there is I'd like for you guys to think about it too, and come back to me with your thoughts about it, and see if you think it's a good idea. And if it's a good idea, then what would be the best way to execute it that um, would that he would appreciate the most, and would uh, be the least likely to make him uncomfortable. So suggestions for that definitely would be appreciated. So that was the first thing that was on my mind that I wanted to talk about. But like I said, we are jumping into reading the modern comic book. Yeah, Delvis, Toy Poy's Pocket Money Memories is a great series, and that's not a bad idea either. Um, and I had thought, and it had been suggested that like we do a big video about it, and obviously I'm a video guy, so that idea appeals to me. But the I don't want the thing to be a way to like get viewers for me. I'm not trying to get viewers for me on a big video. So I wasn't sure that I would go with that idea, just because I don't want it to be a me project. I want it to be an us project. Yeah. So give it some thought. Think about it. Think about it. And we can talk about it. Talk about it. So anyway, so thanks everybody for showing up. I know some of you guys missed part of the conversation. Hey, Kevin Maley, how you doing? Happy birthday, recent. Um, yeah, Kevin says if I were in his place, I'd probably want like positive feedback on my current work the most. You see, that's why I thought like just writing a letter isn't enough. I think it's appropriate to actually purchase the comic books and read the comic books. So I agree with that. I agree. Mark says, wondering if I could do a group video with you, Byron, on Nemesis Enforcer. If interested, won't be till October. Yeah, we can talk about that, and I can talk. Byron and I can discuss it with you and see if we can do that. I have no idea what my schedule is past July. Everything after July is kind of up in the air. A Larry Hama documentary, also not a bad idea. So anyway, I didn't want to totally dominate the conversation just on that topic, but I did want to put the seed in your mind so that you can be fertilizing that seed and growing an idea plant. How's that for a metaphor? David says he may think the older readers have abandoned him. I don't know. He may. That may be possible. But one thing I like. I still like the letter writing idea. But one thing that it does not address is like his treatment at some of the conventions, and not just by like the convention organizers. I mean, some of the fans have not treated him in the best way either. So. I wish there was some way to address that. So think about that too. Think about like what we could do to improve his treatment in person as well. Some of the things that have happened to him at conventions have been appalling. So just that's another thing to think about. I don't want his experience now in like the later part of his career to be negative. I'd like him to have some really good positive experiences and interactions, on his, because on his current work, because he is still a working writer. So these are things to think about. Chew on it. We'll come back. We'll talk about it again, and we'll see what we come up with. Spread the idea on a couple message boards like His Tank and YouTube. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Once we actually settle on what we're going to do, once we actually settle on an idea, I'd like to see if we can get a lot of people to do it. So yeah, okay. So that was my first thought. Brandon says Larry Hama wrote many comics besides G.I. Joe, did Wolverine, Sabretooth, Bucky O'Hare. Yeah, that's true. And that's another thing that I think that we need to make sure we keep in mind is that, at least, for a lot of people on this channel, we like G.I. Joe, of course, but he did a lot more than that. And he may not feel necessarily completely appreciated for all of his other work. So... yeah, I think all of these things need to be kept in mind. And you guys have had some really good suggestions and thoughts about it already. So I knew that if I asked you guys, you'd have some good thoughts. So I appreciate it. But let's for now, let's table the topic for now, and we will bring it up again once everybody's had some time to think about it. So anyway, but that's one thing that's been rattling around in my brain. The other thing, now if you watched the donation unboxing video that I did recently, you know that I got these, the Find Your Fate books, at least some of them anyway. So it was suggested that I do a live stream and we do a Find Your Fate book together, where we collectively decide what the choices are and see how it turns out. So I'm thinking about I think we should do that. We should play a game right here. Thank you, codename New2Vera2, very much appreciated. So yes, that was my idea. It's like we have the books; they're not very long. And just doing one adventure shouldn't take too much time, right? So now, and I don't have a handy way to do a poll, at least not that I know of in here. So what I'm thinking of doing, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to start out on page 1 of the story, and when I get to an option where you have to choose a page, then I will put it to you. You will choose the page number, and I'll just have to do it based on which option I see in the chat the most. Very unscientific, but I thought this would be fun. It's game time. It's G.I. Joe game time on the Hoodie Coco Show. Now, first, let's decide which book to read. I really wish I had tried this idea first before doing it live. So I hope it's not a terrible idea, but let's see. But we have Operation Mindbender by R.L. Stine. We have Operation Star Raider by Eric Affaby. We have they're all called Operation, aren't they? We have Operation Robot Assassin by H. William Stein and Megan Stein. We have Operation Night Flight by William Snow. Operation Weapons Disaster by James Ward. Operation Thunderbolt by Casey Edwards. And Operation Tiger Strike with Snake Eyes on it by William Snow. So I think we'll do this Vegas style. Chad says Super Chat should get the option. Well, I tell you, I don't want to... I don't want to push the super chats too much. I don't want to be greedy, but I'll leave that to you guys. I want to try to do this democratically. So yeah, I'm shuffling. I'm doing this. We're gonna do it like a card game, and I'm going to. Okay, I'm not looking at what's on top. Well, hold on. How many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm going to cut the deck from the top. So pick a number between 1 and 7. Go. Yeah, Benjamin, Thunderbolt does have 007 in it. Well, maybe we'll read it. So somebody pick a number. Okay, Kevin says 7, 2, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Okay, sevens. I've seen a whole bunch of sevens. So 7 it is, and that means it's going to be this one. Which one is this? Operation Weapons Disaster. Well, this could be an Operation Livestream Disaster. I'll tell you, if this is fun and if it works, then maybe we'll do it again. And if it's a total drag, then I apologize. I really should have tested this out before going live with it. So let's see. I do wish the lighting were a little better in here. Actually, hold on a second. Well, I can read better with that on, but it kind of washes out or it puts me in, it backlights me. So all right, let's turn that off. Anyway, okay, all right, so, okay. All right, I was afraid of this. Hold on. Get Mrs. HCC to read so you can follow the chat. That would be a really good idea, but she's not even here right now. She went to have dinner with a friend. So, okay, are we ready? Okay. I'm reading the story now. Are we ready? Okay, here we go. You've been working on your modified G.I. Joe combat cycle for months, and you are just putting in the unusually powerful fuel now. A few drops spill from the special container and sizzle on the floor, burning a hole into the concrete. This is strong stuff. The potent fuel is your latest invention, and it will either move your cycle faster and farther than a cycle has ever gone before, or blow up in your face. As you're capping the fuel tank, Quick Kick runs in. Wheels. I guess our name is Wheels. Let's see. Wheels. Duke needs you fast in the briefing room. We've got Cobra problems with your name written all over them. You look sadly at your motorcycle. It's got all the latest weapons and armor. You were really hoping to take a test drive, but orders are orders. In seconds, you reach the conference room. Then you remember the fuel. You hope it doesn't eat a hole in the tank of the cycle. If it's going to eat a hole in the tank of the cycle, then that's a problem. That's a problem. Let's see. Wheels, Duke says, pointing to the world map behind him. Cobra is at it again in Africa, in the Italian Alps, and in Mexico. We'll need you to check things out. Duke, you say with a laugh, I'm fast, but working in all those places at once would be too much even for me. Everyone laughs at your joke. Ha 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 ha. They know you pride yourself on driving anywhere at any time at breakneck speed. Yes, driving to Africa and the Italian Alps and New Mexico. But Duke barely smiles. This must be serious. Turn to page 2. And there is an illustration. There is an illustration. There you go. All right. So, yes, we're turning to page 2. Duke explains the problem. Flint and Lady J have a team in Africa. They've discovered a small secret Cobra lab. The place has been working on a new Cobra battle cycle. Ooh, a Cobra battle cycle. It should be just up your alley, Wheels. Our name is Wheels. I don't think I like that code name. And they want help checking it out. You start to speak, but Duke keeps going. If that isn't enough, Bazooka's squad in New Mexico was en routine patrol when they ran into a new Cobra battle tank. Bazooka said it took everything our guys sent at it and still kept going. Only a lucky shot by one of Bazooka's high-powered anti-tank rockets took it out. He's asking for help, too. We got the last call only 10 minutes ago. It was from Iceberg and Sci-Fi in the Italian Alps. Iceberg and Sci-Fi? Why is Alpine not there? Alpine should be there. They're on vacation. Okay, so they didn't invite Alpine. I don't like that. Um, but while they were skiing, they saw a new combat plane with Cobra markings fly over their hill. They tracked it back to a small valley far off the normal ski trails. I've ordered them to just watch the place until we send some backup. Everyone in the room looks at you. They know you are the expert on new Cobra weapons and vehicles. You're the one who should go immediately. But where should you go first? Go on to page 3. Okay, we're about to have a choice. Are you about to make a choice? Oh, hello, SEO Toy Review. Nice of you to join us. Sorry, I'm not able to look at the chat and read at the same time. Sorry. Page 3 says the problem in Africa seems very pressing, and you'd love to get a look at that new Cobra cycle. But the situation in New Mexico seems grave too. You'd really like to have a chance to destroy that tank before Cobra starts making thousands more like it. And as for the Alps, if there's a new combat jet, you'd certainly like a chance to stop it while it's still in the testing phase. Too bad you can't be in all 3 places at once. So here we go. You have some choices, Hive Mind. Your choices are Lady J and Flint in Africa, or go to New Mexico, or go to the Alps. So let's just, if you don't mind, in the chat, putting your selection either Africa, New Mexico, or the Alps. Africa, New Mexico, or the Alps. A couple for Africa so far. Africa, Alps, Africa. Okay, it looks like Africa is winning, so we're going with Africa, so we turn to page 30. Turning to page 30. It is possible they could run into Joburg there. Let's see. Skipping a bunch of pages to page 30. Okay, here we go. Page 30. You bob and glide in the swirling winds as your parachute carries you down toward the clearing in the African jungle, where are Flint and Lady J. You were supposed to meet them in this small circle between the tangled trees, but they are nowhere to be seen. You hit the ground hard and disentangle yourself from the parachute. Your combat cycle, of course you brought the combat cycle, lands undamaged a few yards away. You see vehicle tracks leading north and south into the dense jungle. Looking north, you see signs of a battle. There are wrecked Cobra ferrets overturned by the path. You see a Cobra Asp, in parentheses, assault system pod, still burning. The G.I. Joe team members must have won this fight, but where are they now? To the south, you see tank tracks. You recognize them as the tracks of the G.I. Joe Armadillo mini-tanks. You know that Flint was supposed to take a squad of armadillos into the area, but where is he headed? Which direction do you want to go? Perhaps your teammates are still battling Cobras to the north and could use your help. Or perhaps the south trail leads to the hidden Cobra base. Decide quickly, Wheels. So, the options now are north or south. So I put it to you. You must choose north or south. North or south. South to Joburg, somebody says. North. All right, we got more south than north. It looks like, okay, looks like south wins. Okay, looks like the general's consensus is to south. So for south, we turn to page 56. Page 56. Oop, just passed it. Page 56. It says, you decide to take the south trail. Your wheels tear up the ground as you race into the jungle depths in search of your G.I. Joe teammates. Suddenly, the jungle growth seems to pull back. You see a familiar face in the clearing. Hey, Wheels, gung-ho calls to you, waving you over. You out joyriding, or have you been looking for us? Good to see you, you tell him. I thought maybe all of you were avoiding me. Where are Flint and Lady J? He raises his powerful arm to point you toward the G.I. Joe camp. A few seconds later, you are being greeted by your two teammates. Look at these wheels, Lady J. I'm sorry, I should have done the voice. Look at these wheels, Lady J says, shoving a handful of blueprints at you before you can climb off your motorcycle. We found these plans in a small Cobra fort. The fort was only... Oh, that's Flint. The fort was only half finished, Flint explains. We took them by surprise before they had their defenses up. They ran and left these behind. You quickly look over the blueprints. Wow, you exclaim, shaking your head. These are plans for a new Cobra combat cycle. This thing looks more powerful than anything they've ever built. You don't have time to study the plan. Suddenly, Gung Ho comes running toward you. Hey, gang, looks like we've got company, he yells. Turn to page 48. Page 48. I'm not a voice actor. That's as close as I can get. Let's see. 48. 48. Here we go. Oh, and there's an illustration. Hold on. There is an illustration. Okay. 48 says, you leap onto your cycle as 3 Cobra combat cycles roar into view. Your comrades run for their G.I. Joe Armadillo mini-tanks as you activate the smokescreen jets on your cycle. You recognize your 3 Cobra attackers. They are Cobra Commander's loyal henchmen, Zartan and his brother and sister, Xandar and Zarana. A wall of smoke fills the clearing. Your side rocket launchers blast away at the trio of attackers. Your teammates begin firing at the 3 enemy cycles. Hand back the plans and we'll let you live, Zartan screams over the roar of the weapon fire. Turn to page 4. It says turn to page 4. We're going backwards. Supposed to go backwards? Okay, page 4. After page 4, we have another choice. Okay, here we go. Thanks for sticking with me for story time here. Page 4 says, you know that Zartan is bluffing. The 3 Cobra agents are outnumbered. You reply with a blast from your rocket launchers. Zartan and his brother and sister turn around and begin to retreat into the trees. You roar after them on your combat cycle. They lead you through a twisting path that cuts sharply by a hidden river and then swerves back through a marshy lowland. Looking back, you realize that you have left your teammates far behind. Your motorcycle's just too fast. You are rapidly closing on the 3 fleeing Cobras. Should you attack or wait for your comrades to catch up and help you decide quickly, Wheels, before you crash right into Zartan? So your options now are attack or wait. So please type your selection, attack or wait. Attack or wait. Chad says wait. James says attack. Jason says attack. Kevin says wait. We are a very aggressive group, I have to say. There's a lot of attacks. Yeah, okay. All right, attack clearly wins this time. Attack clearly wins, and I have to say I'm very disappointed at how aggressive you guys are. Very very belligerent attitude you've all taken here, but we'll do it. We'll do it. Attack. Turn to page 32. Turning to page 32. 32. Here's page 32. It says, you attack. You don't want to give the 3 of them a chance to escape in this dense jungle. You blow the tires off their cycles with 6 blasts of your energy guns. That's energy guns. It's like an energy drink, except it's a gun that shoots energy drinks, I think. Now they aren't going anywhere, but that doesn't stop them from firing back at you. Yeah, they have guns too. Zartan has rockets mounted on the front of his cycle. He picks up his cycle and aims it at you, firing twin trails of destruction your way. It's very colorful. Good writing there. You have no choice but to throw your cycle down to the ground. The rockets fly over your head and smash into the trees behind you. The trees burst into flame. Your quick reflexes have saved your life. This time. Give up, G.I. Joe creep, shouts Zartan. Why should I? You call back, riding your cycle. All I see in front of me are 3 cycles with their wheels blown out and 3 washed up Cobras. It's Zarana. That's true. But what about behind you? It's an old trick and you aren't going to fall for it, are you? Turn to page 53. Page 53. Okay, let's see. Turning to page 53. All right, page 50. Oh, it's a long one. Okay. All right, it's a long one. We're ready? Page 53 says, just in case Seren is telling the truth, you grab your cycle and lunge to the side just as a grenade blows up on the spot where you were standing. You turn and see Zarena was telling the truth. From out of the jungle rumbles a gigantic war machine. It appears to be 3 vehicles in one. The top is a jet, the middle section is a combat cycle, and the bottom is a tank. They should have made a toy out of that. It sounds like something they would have made in the 90s. Let's see. Where I lost my place. You realize at once that the tank must be the one Bazooka found in New Mexico. Hey, they got that New Mexico tank all the way to Africa. The jet is the one Iceberg sighted in the Alps, and the cycle is the one you came to investigate. So the 3 vehicles are in fact one. The 3 vehicles are in fact one combo vehicle. My mind is blown. My mind is blown. I did not see that twist coming. I legitimately did not see that twist coming. Let's see. A silver masked head pops out of the cockpit of the glider section. Who is that? That's meet my Cerebus device. It's the master weapons supplier Destro. I gotta say it right. Meet my Cerebus device. What a nice target, Destro yells over the deafening roar of the war machine's engine. But what a pity. I was looking forward to more of a challenge. He moves toward you in this invincible device. You weigh your options. You seem to narrow down to 2. Fight or stall for time. Can you and your combat cycle take on the super weapon of Destro? Or will you need to help? Will you need the help of your GI Joe teammates, who should be on the scene any moment? So here, we have we have the same options we had last time, pretty much. It's attack or stay until your buddies arrive. So your options are attack or stall. Attack or stall. Attack. It's more evenly split this time. We got some for fight, some for stall. Woo! So, yeah, now remember, last time you guys wanted to attack and you almost got blown up with a grenade. In fact, if this weren't a children's book, you guys would be in little bloody pieces all over the battlefield right now. All right, it's really even, but I'm gonna go with stall. We're gonna go with stall, okay? But that was actually much closer. So let's see what happens if we stall. That's page 25. Page 25. Okay, 25. 25 says, I'm trying to get the, I don't have as much light here as I'd like, but here, let's see. It says, your plan is to stall by keeping on the move and moving fast. Speed comes easily to you, but you've never raced into a jungle with a huge Cobra war machine on your trail. Neither have I, as it happens. You see immediately that your weapons are of no use. The missiles you fire don't even dent the Cerebus device. The Cerebus device cuts into the jungle behind you. Your driving skill and modified combat cycle power are keeping you ahead of the device for now. The menacing war machine isn't your only problem. You spin your cycle away just in time to avoid Zartan and Xandar, who leap down from the tree limbs overhead. Instead of ambushing you, they knock into each other with a bone-crushing force. Well, isn't that comical? That should take care of them for a bit. Well, so Zartan and Xandar basically knocked themselves out. That useless guys, completely useless. Let's see. You're wondering where their sister is when you see her creeping through the jungle. She's aiming a heavy Cobra assault rifle at you. Turn to page 26. Okay, you got to turn to page 26. Next page. Zarena doesn't get to fire her assault rifle. However, in a flash of silver and green, she's knocked off her feet by an onrushing G.I. Joe Silver Mirage motorcycle driven by a grinning Lady J. The turbo cycle roars into action as the rest of your teammates join the battle. Now, we all know that the Silver Mirage would have fallen to pieces long before now, but we will suspend our disbelief for the purpose of the story. Let's see. Who's talking? Oh, Flint. Flint's talking. Let's get to the back of that Cobra monster, Flint yells. The armor looks weaker there. Maybe we can make a dent or two. Flint's plan might work, but it means you have to come under the service device's fire again. Once more, you turn around, prepared to act as bait. You roar past the base of the mighty Cobra war machine one more time. Your eyes are on its powerful weapons, not on the ground. You don't see the gaping holes in the ground made by its energy cannons. Whoa! You yell as your front wheel dips into the deep hole and you are sent flying from the motorcycle. You watch in dismay as the Cobra cannons blast your combat cycle to shreds. Well, you're lucky you weren't blasted to shreds with it, quite frankly. Where did I live? Blast. Okay, but you have no time to mourn your special cycle. You can give the special cycle a funeral later. You roll out of the way of the deadly machine and head for cover. Then suddenly you hear a thunderous roar in the sky. You look up to see a squadron of G.I. Joe Sky Strikers. A few seconds later, they let loose a barrage of missiles. One missile lands on the Cerberus device, a direct hit. So I believe the G.I. Joe Sky Strikers were led by Captain Deus Ex Machina. Turn to page 88. 88. What happens on page 88? I want another choice. We haven't had enough choices. All right, 88, almost there. Almost there. Come on. Okay, all right. And this is actually the last page of the adventure. Last page of the adventure. For a brief second, the armor of Destro's machine holds its form. Then, as you shield your eyes from the blinding light, the Cerberus device turns white hot, glowing like a fireball. It crumples and melts. Well, that's a flaw. Yeah, flaw in that design if it melts. The remaining Cobras flee. You have scored a big victory today. Oh, this is Roadblock. Hey, too bad, Wheels, a voice calls. You turn and see Roadblock, a grin on his face. Looks like you're going to have to walk like the rest of us, old buddy. That doesn't rhyme. That can't be Roadblock. That doesn't rhyme. Hey, listen, you tell him your grin wider than his. If that big, ugly war machine is out of the picture, I don't mind walking. You don't mind walking home from Africa? Destro wanted to combine 3 Cobra machines into one I'm sorry, this is Lady J. Destro wanted to combine 3 Cobra machines into one unbeatable device, Lady J says, as you survey the wreckage of his machine. He hoped jet wings, tank treads, and cycle tires would be unbeatable, but he didn't count on our secret weapon, Wheels. The end. And there is an illustration. There's an illustration. So, yes, James, I know it sounds like Mickey Mouse. I am not a voice actor. So there you go. Okay. We did it. It wasn't a long adventure, but and I don't think it gave us a lot of choices. But yeah, Beach 76. I knew we should have gone to New Mexico. Yeah, maybe next time. Maybe next time. Maybe we'll do it again. But I think once is enough for the evening. So there. I hope a few people enjoyed that. It was different and unique anyway. Yes, Jackie Chan, we didn't die. We survived. We survived. Hey, do you ever die in these? Do they ever actually have an outcome where you die? I want to know that. I want to know that. I'm going to have to read more of these. Anyway, also, we've gone 5 minutes past 8 o'clock. I did want to stay a little extra longer for you guys since I kind of had to stop the live stream for a little while. and move it inside. So we'll stick around for a few more minutes, but not too long because I do have to do a few other things, this evening, here around the house. But I'll just hang out with you guys for a little bit longer. Since I was reading, I actually wasn't able to follow the live chat. So sorry I missed a lot of your banter. But Johan says in the Choose Your Own Adventure books, you usually get killed easily, while in this one there's no danger. Yeah. Now I remember, because I did have some of the Choose Your Own Adventure books, and I do remember dying in those books. But I don't think you die in these books. So, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, thanks, B Bishop. We may do it again sometime. That was kind of fun. And thank you, SEO Toy Review. Sunday review. This Sunday. We have the 5-year anniversary video going up. It's going to be really long, okay? We didn't quite make it to 8,000 minutes, but it's a substantial video. Oh, Rezakai sends $10. He says, thanks for the adventure book, hoodie. You're welcome. Just watched the Lobotomax review. My gosh, how do you make it through? Lobotomax. I've actually had my eye on the other aliens. I want to actually review another one of the aliens soon. So hopefully sometime soon I can get around to reviewing Carcass. That's what I've got my target on now. I want to get Carcass. Yeah, there was actually a G.I. Joe alien called Carcass. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get to that soon. Yeah, so anyway, you guys have been really helpful this evening. Thanks for your thoughts about my Larry Hama ideas. And we will talk about it again. I'll see if I can get some kind of consensus before we decide what to do. But I would like to do something, something that we know that he would appreciate, something that would not make him uncomfortable, but that would also express to him our appreciation for his work. So we'll talk about it. David Sharp says Cobra Convergence for this year. No spoilers. And Mark likes the Ice Cream Soldier. I don't know if you mean you like the Ice Cream Soldier figure or if you like the review, but either way, that's just fine. SEO Toy Review says, I offered to take Larry home with me from that event. Well, okay. I hope you at least bought him a couple drinks first. So anyway, yeah, all right, guys. Actually, probably do need to wrap it up. I did want to stay a few minutes later than usual just because I kind of had to leave you guys for a couple minutes. So, we'll do this again. I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun for me. I hope you guys liked it. We will be back again on Tuesday for the regular live stream next week. And don't forget on Sunday's the big one. Oh, and I did mention in the patrons poll review that the week after this Sunday, I will be taking that week off. So there won't be a new review after the 5-year anniversary review, but the second week after that will be the review of whatever wins the poll. So, all right, so I'm going to call that an evening, guys. Thanks, everyone. This is a lot of fun. These live streams, just for me at least, just keep getting more fun. So I really love doing this. This is still my favorite part of the week. So, but I should get a few other things going. So I will say goodnight to everyone. Thanks for watching. I will see you again next week, and I will stop this thing now and say see you later.